All right, well, if you are feeling the holiday blues this season, you are certainly not alone. A new survey from the American Psychological Association found that about 40% of American adults say they're more stressed during this time of year. And some of the main causes include spending too much money, not being able to spend time with family, just feeling pressure to essentially make the holidays special. So psychotherapist Dr. Robi Ludwig joins us now for more. Dr. Robi, first off, thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Listen, talk to us first about how our mental health is just generally impacted around this time of year.
Yeah, it's a very pressured time of year, and we tend to be gluttonous, right? There's shopping that people feel pressured to do. There's overeating. It's a dark time of year. There's being with the family. There's not being with family. There's this internal perfectionistic drive that we have and notice as well. So it's really important to be deliberate in terms of taking care of yourself. Otherwise, you could be the last person on your holiday list.
And what about sort of just managing holiday blues? I've seen even friends, personal friends, who've posted on Instagram saying, look, this is like a dark time of year for me. How do people manage that?
So seasonal affective disorder can happen. It's a seasonal depression. So I think it's important to observe if you get this kind of depression during the dark seasons of the year, and people who are in the Northeast are more vulnerable. But basically, you know, talk it out with friends, make sure you're connecting in the right way, set boundaries and limits, and make sure that you're not overdoing it with overeating. Continue to exercise, get your sleep, and ask yourself, what do I need during this moment? If you're checking in with yourself, you can regulate your feelings a lot better.
You talk about staying healthy and sort of managing the eating and the exercise. What about just connection? What about people who are forced to spend, you know, the holidays alone? We're in a business where a lot of people are, I mean, news doesn't stop, right? There's a lot of industries like that. How can people who are worried about feeling lonely or do feel lonely, how can they sort of make sure they keep that connection alive?
For loneliness, it's really important to connect. So if you can't be with family, find friends. Create a new way of being around people, or plan for a future trip, you know, so you can see family maybe after the new year. Also, volunteering is really good for the soul and for depression. When we're in a state of giving, we are reminded that we have something to give, and it's really also fabulous for the people who are receiving our help.
And it's a great way to connect with people, just face to face.
Absolutely, and understand you're not alone. I think we get caught up in the images and we compare and then despair of happy families, and for a lot of patients of mine, maybe they lost a family member and it's a sad time, or they're getting divorced and they notice what they don't have. Try to focus on what you do have, even if it's one small thing.
Perhaps a bit, you know, controversial, but would you ever recommend that someone turn off their social media during this?
Oh, yeah. Including myself. I'll have a conversation. Yes, because I think it can suck you into a world that's not real. And it makes you feel, you know, there are algorithms, and you feel that the world looks like how it does on social media, which is a very black and white world. And if you turn it off and you just relate to people and vibe and connect in the moment, it really is a breath of fresh air.
Speaking of fresh air, you know, it's funny, my first Christmas now as a mother, and seeing sort of this holiday experience through her eyes, it's so exciting. But parents and kids, they can experience a very different understanding of the holiday season. You know, for other families, how do they sort of bridge that divide?
Well, it is a kid's holiday, right? The excitement of gifts and feeling good, and then Santa's going to get you what you want. So appreciating the excitement there. Also, not going beyond what you feel comfortable. So don't spend beyond your means and then worry about bills later. And also, it's all about the meaning of the holiday and creating new family traditions.
And I guess finally, how can you sort of avoid feeling like or seeming like a Grinch this season for people who aren't just into it?
Yeah, you can feel like a Grinch, and that's understandable, but you want to regulate your mood so you're not dumping your mood onto other people. So have respect for other people's feelings and keep it to yourself, or converse with other people who are also Grinch-like.
Who aren't feeling the cheer this season.
Exactly.
Dr. Robi Ludwig, it is always a pleasure to see you.
Likewise. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you as well. And stay with us. You're watching NBC News Daily.